What do you perceive as the three most significant issues facing Newport and Jamestown that you, as a senator, will be able to influence?
I think everything comes back to the economy, but I think everyone is going to say that, and it's important on how we're focusing on the economy. And it's important that we're focusing on an economy that works for the working class, the middle class, families. We need to be able to keep families, seniors, retirees, students, a wide variety of people in our community, and that boils down to making sure that we have a tax structure that's set up so that people can afford to live here. And it also means that we need to have good paying jobs, and it also means that we need to be able to have housing that folks can afford when they want to stay here.
For me, it's three issues. It's the economy, first of all. Right now, you look at our economy, it's mainly dependent on tourism. It's seasonal. And many of the jobs simply aren't that high paying. And as a result, what we've seen over the last couple of decades, we've seen our population decrease because of this. So one of my primary focuses will work to ensure that we have a year-round economy with sustainable, future industry jobs that are well-paying. And we've already been doing a lot of work with the Innovation Hub. And that's something that I'm going to continue to work on as your next senator. The second is education. And education and the economy, they are linked very much together. Right now, for example, we have within a 2-mile driving radius of Newport, we have 720 jobs in cybersecurity that nobody can fill. That's a problem. And they only need to be filled with someone with a 2-year degree. That's it. The other one is our social safety nets for our neediest citizens and our senior citizens. We need to preserve this. There's a lot of stuff happening on the federal level that's extremely concerning, such as 22 million Americans potentially losing our health insurance. And as your next senator, I will be working with you to ensure that we do everything possible. Thank you.
Thank you. The three most important things I believe is number one, it covers a lot of areas, it's quality of life. And what I mean about that is do you feel safe? Is your public safety good enough? Are your schools good enough? Are your roads good enough? Is your infrastructure good enough? Are we getting our fair share down here in this neck of the woods for the amount of income that we bring into the state of Rhode Island? Are we getting it? I don't think we are. I think we need to do a better job to help sustain these things that are utilized by a lot of visitors that come through Jamestown and into Newport. It's extremely important because Lord knows it, if you did come here from Jamestown or even from Middletown or anywhere, the roads need it, the infrastructure's rough, there's a lot of visitors here, and we're dealing with the bridge issue itself. Education is another issue that's important. I think we need to concentrate more on our career vocational technical center to train some of our young people to go out and get jobs right after high school if they do not choose to go to college. It's a great thing. Since I've been elected as chairman of the school committee, we've increased our enrollment by 70% in the last 3 years, and that's something I'm going to keep pushing for, and I want the state to fund it a lot better so we can retool it and have a lot more stuff for our folks to be using. And finally, I think our exponentially growing elderly group needs to make sure that they can have their independence secured by getting a better transportation, better home care needs so they can remain independent and stay home and live their lives at home the way they'd like to.
Thank you. Obviously, the economy is one of the biggest issues. Again, we have wonderful tourist attractions, and our historical capabilities, both in Jamestown and Newport, are excellent. We don't want to diminish that. We also can't focus that all year round. I believe that the defense industry has the capability to be increased, similar to what was done when the base realignment and closure happened. A lot of schools were joined from multi-services, and then they were relocated in San Antonio. The Newport Navy base has a large contingent for officer training, and I believe that that is something that should be brought back. We had the chaplain school here at one point in time. That might be a nice tenant command to maybe locate at Jamestown to help the folks in Jamestown to lower their tax base by having something that is not going to impact their quality of life. The folks that I've met there are really concerned about the industry coming there and affecting how they are, but they also want to be able to lower their tax base. One of the other areas that I think is really, really important, especially with the casinos, I was almost going to say highlight, I've been here way too long, is that we should make our cybersecurity more robust. I don't think we need to mimic and be a Silicon Valley East. However, we should leverage the fact that Congressman Langevin is on the subcommittee, and he is the subcommittee for cybersecurity, so maybe we should focus on that. That's in the news, it's important. It's not just affecting government agencies, it's also affecting businesses. So that was one.
Thank you. This is very personal to me, but it affects all of us. It's first and foremost, it's the economy. I'm a small business owner, and feedback here. I'm a small business owner, and our state needs to diversify its economy. We need a year-round economy. Several candidates have discussed it, and the plans for that, as far as redeveloping that, there's 75 acres of land due to free up with the realignment of the ramp, the bridge to nowhere, and there's opportunities there. And we need to seize those opportunities. We've been talking about it for way too long. Education. I have both ends of the spectrum. I have a son just out of college. I have a son just out of the Army. I have a daughter that's about to graduate high school. And I have a stepdaughter who's starting at Pell in the fall. It's important to me because Pell is ranked 101 out of 170 schools in the state, down from 92nd in 2015. We need to change course. And finally, the environment. So much work has been done by the local legislators on this, and we need to prepare ourselves. The old saying, if you have no plan, there's plan to fail. And we need to plan for the future as far as whether it's sea rise or whether it's certain environmental impacts on our beautiful island community. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your question, and I really appreciate the question because I feel like basically what you're asking us is why are we running? And I will say this. I asked a former student of mine to chair my campaign because she's in her mid-20s, she's out of school, and she's very devoted to this community. And I want to see more of that. I want to see more young people who are able to stay here, live here, and work here because that's what makes a community great. Many of you know that I'm a huge advocate for education. That's another big reason that I'm running. Over at the Pell School, we've seen the number of English language learners triple in the last 2 years. We need to ensure that teachers and students are supported appropriately, and that's something I've been working on my whole life and something I would love to continue to work on as your state senator. Finally, many of you know I'm a yoga teacher. I'm a huge advocate for healthy communities. I've written a lot and talked a lot about the opioid crisis that's occurring in Newport and Jamestown and throughout the state, and I want to work to bring reasonable solutions to the table for that crisis as well. Thank you.